Energy. Hit music only.
Heute im Energy Startalk. Kwabs, welcome.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm very good, thank you.
Do you have a stressy time?
No, I'm fine. No.
Yeah? You seem to be the chilly type of guy, is that right?
I don't get too stressed about much really. I've got a good life.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, and today is a very exciting day for you.
Yeah.
It's a new album.
Yeah, it's crazy actually. Today is. It feels like it's been coming for ages. So now that it's here, I'm like, cool, it's here. It's like, cool, see what happens. But it's been really cool. You know, it's been nice to know that people are on board and they're supporting. And now that it's finally here, people can go and enjoy it if they're so pleased.
Is it that you wake up in the morning and it's like a child's Christmas? It's today, the new album?
I suppose it's a bit like that, yeah. It's a bit like that, yeah, like opening a present. You know?
Yeah. And did you listen to it today already?
No, because I don't want to listen to it again. I've listened to it enough times. It's for everyone else to listen to now. I'm like, on to the next album.
Never ever again listen to it?
I might do some point, but only once like everything has died down and I feel like I can come back to the songs. But I've listened to them hundreds of times already, so I'm ready for something fresh.
So what happens when you go out here, out of the studio, and it's played on the radio? So what do you do?
I don't know. I've not come to that point yet. But if it's there, I'll just have to deal with it.
Oh, I have to deal with it.
Yeah.
So you don't switch off the radio.
Not if I have the control of the radio, then yeah, I will. But it's not within. It's not my right. I let the owner of the car deal with it.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Have you ever been to a club and there was a remix of one of your songs?
Not yet, no. I don't really go to the club much though, so that's probably why. I bet if I did, I'd probably find that, and I'd probably have to. I don't know what I would do. Like just escape.
Oh no! I
Yeah.
heard that you love music, listening to music and dancing and crying.
I don't love it personally, but I feel like music can do that. I feel like some of the best songs in the world do that. They kind of have they're both they're at the same time energetic, but also devastating.
So when you don't go to clubs, when do you dance?
Whenever I feel like it. You know, it could be. I mean, I don't go out on the street and just dance randomly because then people find that hard to deal with, and you know they're not ready. But in my house or backstage at gigs, you know, sometimes I put on music and like to kind of like get everyone's energy levels up before the gig starts. And obviously on stage, you know.
So your new album, Love and War, is it the kind of album to dance to?
Some of it is, and some of it's to cry to, and some of it is a mixture of both. So it's supposed to be. It's confusing, but it's supposed to be. But for me, it's like it's all sorts of things, you know. And I think depending on who you are, you're going to read it in a slightly different way. So it's kind of up to the listener to interpret it how they want to, whether they want to move or whether they want to sit down, or I don't know.
Another thing I read about you that you said once, you want to make songs where you can stand on the top of a mountain and cry it out loud.
Oh well, yeah. I think that some songs feel like they're very big. Some of them feel like they're very small, but some of them feel like they have an expansive quality to them, which feels like they are meant for some sort of grand like gesture. And every time I write a song, there's an image that I have that conjures up from that, and that's one of them.
Have you ever been standing on top of a mountain crying out loud one of your songs?
I've never been on top of a mountain, so unfortunately,
No.
that's not been an option that's available to me. But you know, I'm still young. There's still time.
You have to go on top of the mountain.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, you're here in Bavaria. Just have
Okay.
30 minutes and you are on top of the next
Okay.
mountain. So next time you come to Munich,
Yeah.
take a day
Okay,
and cry it out loud,
Cool.
please.
cool.
So do you have one of a favorite song on this album, even if you don't listen to it anymore?
My favorite song on the album is "Perfect Ruin," which is, you know, it's a slow one, but it's the one that means the most to me. And I feel like actually, like when people listen to it, I feel like the more people listen to it, the more that people kind of get into it, and the more that it's kind of Moorish. It's like, you know, it's like eating a food that you want to keep going back to eat. For me, that's what it's like. And yeah, I think that that's a song that will last me throughout the rest of my career, you know.
That's a really good comparison.
Mm-hmm.
I know that feeling. You have something, and when I ate already half of it, I'm so sad that I already ate half of it.
Yeah, exactly, right?
And it's the same with the song.
Yeah.
You can't wait till the end to go on repeat.
Exactly. Yeah. Absolutely, yeah.
So why is it so important for you? So what does it mean by the lyrics or?
I mean, it's just you know, it's just an emotional song, and it's about, you know, love and how amazing and how terrifying and how overwhelming that can be, and I think that's something that we can all identify with. It was one of the easiest songs for me to write, so I have a lot of love for it. I think it's one of the most natural feeling songs of all the ones on the album.
Pretty much many songs are about love on this album, is that right?
Yeah, I think when you think about it, most songs are about love.
Yeah.
And I feel like people always say, you know, why write another song about love? But then, because people need it, you know. But when I write about love, I don't really write about romantic love. Generally, you know, that's not why I'm writing about them. I'm writing about them I'm writing about love from all sorts of different perspectives. And sometimes the song that I write might look like a love story, but actually the story behind it is not a love story. And that's kind of, you know, that's interesting.
You seem to be romantic, but you're not.
Am I romantic? I don't know. I think I'm romantic. But this album is not about romance. Not really.
Okay. So where do you go get love from when you are on tour or have stressy days with interviews?
I'm loved. I am loved. I'm loved. Love is everywhere around me, and I feel very fortunate to be in that position. You know, I have people back at home who care about me. I have fans out there who care about what I do and who appreciate what I do, and I also have a team of people who want me to be really successful and want me to be happy as well. And that is love. You know, that's what it means. It means to be cared for and to feel that you are cared for.
My Own, your new single. Can
Yes.
you tell us what is My Own about? Or what is it about to you?
Oh, well, My Own is just like, for me, like My Own is probably one of the most straightforward songs on the album. It's just a song for people to listen to remind them to remind them of their own kind of confidence, right? So, like the character in the song is saying, you know, if you're with me, then you'll never be unhappy. It's like, you know, I want you, I'm going to have you, and this is how I'm going to get you. And I think that people like that. I think that people like to imagine that they are that confident and that they are that forward. And I just thought I'd give them that, you know, something in the middle of the album to sort of lift the energy of it as well.
So it's not you saying that, it's a character in your song?
It's more like a character. It's not me. But I you know, obviously as a singer, you can inhabit lots of different characters throughout your music, and that's one of them.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So is there a song where you are singing the lyrics, or is it always a character in your songs?
Not always. I think that, you know, Love and War has a bit of me in it. Perfect Ruin does. But most of the songs are drawn from a feeling that I have had in my life, but they are painted in a way that represents that without necessarily telling my specific story. So it's almost like, you know, like avant-garde art, you know, like the kind of the paintings that, you know, like Leonardo da Vinci did, where he did a picture of someone which was like all kind of crooked and like kind of messed up and had different colors. The person obviously didn't look like that, but the final picture is a representation of that, and that's kind of what it's like. It's like I'm putting out something that has an energy from me, but isn't necessarily me in explicit form.
Okay. Mm-hmm. You get this, on one side you get this new album, and on the other side there is still Walk, who is almost platinum here in Germany,
Yeah.
who was #1.
Yeah.
So how does that feel?
It's crazy. I mean, is it almost platinum? I don't know. No one's told me. I'm like,
It's almost, yeah.
oh, great. No, that's cool. Yeah, it's great. It's like, you know, you make music to see whether it will connect with people, or I do anyway. And so it happened and it worked, and it worked really well. So I can't be anything more than thankful, than to everyone who's bought it and supported me, and to radio stations for playing it. It's the greatest feeling in the world.
And this is one of the big songs you told us about, right?
Yes.
So
yes.
it's also big for you.
Yes.
One of the really, really big songs. So what is the best about being pushed really on top with the success? So is there anything you say, hey, that's the best about being successful?
I think one of the best things about it is knowing that people know the music and they know you. Like, one song has the power to connect you to potentially millions of people. And that's what it is. It's like, it just feels really powerful. It feels like you're doing something that is reaching loads of people, and that's what I'm doing. That's why I'm doing this.
So what happens when you go on a street in London?
In London, I mean, for the most part, most of the time, no one really notices who I am. But occasionally, when I'm buying some milk, someone comes up to me and wants to take a selfie or something like that, which is fine. I always make the mistake of thinking that no one's gonna recognize me, but that's just not true. It's not true. Like sometimes, I might be buying something really awkward. Like, I don't know. Like, I just need to be careful. That's all I'm saying. I'm gonna be careful from now on.
What was the craziest thing that happened to you?
Oh, I mean, people just come up to me. They're crying, and they're like, they're like saying things like, "Oh, I'm gonna die. Oh my gosh, I'm like, you're not gonna die. It's gonna be cool. We're cool. I'm just a human being." But yeah, sometimes it can be emotional. Basically, it tends to be quite emotional.
What is when you are on stage, or what happens when you go off stage? Is it like a big party when you say you don't like clubs? I think it's not a big party. Is it like chilling, drinking some beer?
It depends. It depends on what the vibe is. I mean, I have, to be able to sing the next day. So I'm all about going to sleep and hitting that pillow and then being able to use my voice the next day. I'm not about like going out and being tired and ruining myself because I've got fans that I need to do a good show for. But it just depends. I feel like the partying can happen now because the album is done. I can relax a bit.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Yeah, and you said in the beginning of the interview, you said you don't think about this album anymore. You're thinking about the next album. So you're already working now when it's coming out today?
I kind of already know what I want to do. So I'm going to think about it a little bit longer, and then I'll probably start writing the next album, which is, it's fun. You got to keep going.
So no holiday?
We'll have to think about that.
So many things to think about. Yeah. When you come home after a tour or after finishing an album, what is the first thing you do when you come home?
Cook some home-cooked food. When you're traveling around, you don't get any home-cooked food. I mean, you do, but it's not like from home. And that's how I feel at home, is by cooking something and just feeling like I have something familiar to eat.
What's your favorite food?
I like African food, West African food, like grilled fish and yams and plantains and stuff like that. I don't know if you've had any of that before. It's good stuff, and it makes me feel very homely and comfortable.
Okay, cool. I got some short questions for you.
Yeah.
So one song and a whole word you wished you had written.
I Can't Make You Love Me by Bonnie Raitt.
One song you can't stand.
I know this one. Timber.
The coolest person you ever met. So cool for you.
Coolest person I ever met. Liana Havas.
The most important phone number you got in your cell phone.
That's a good question. My best friend from home.
If you could say one thing to the whole world, what would you say?
Do what you want, so long as it doesn't hurt anybody.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Hit music only. Energy. Hit music only.